Are you all doing? This is Ron here bringing you guys PSBL Week 5 recap, and right now it is Thursday night. I am recording this right before I go to bed, so if I slur my words, I am sorry. I had a very long week and I just want to get this over with and done. I don't want to have to worry about this over the weekend. But anyway, we have 3 battles right now, where we have the Glygars taking on the Infernapes. We have the Magnemitans taking on the Tauros, and we have the newcomers, the Orlando Solar Beams, taking on the Kartanas. But we'll start off right here. We have Mega Gyarados, Mamoswine, Rotom Heat, Blastoise, Alakazam, and Slaking for the Glygars. And for the Infernapes, Mega Sceptile, Zapdos, Heatran, Tapu Fini, Mr. Mime, and Lucario. We have Slaking and Alakazam starting off against Heatran and Lucario. Lucario decides to switch out into Zapdos on a Protect from Slaking. Skill Swap, obviously not going to do anything behind the Protect, and Stealth Rock comes out. Heatran decides to Protect, does not know what's going to happen, but instead a Icium Z goes onto Zapdos and takes it out. Turn 2, which is great to see. Heatran decides to switch out, does not want to take any Earth-type moves, as Truant Alakazam is very unfortunate, but the Giga Impact takes the Mr. Mime down to its sash as Icy Wind comes out, slowing down both the Slaking and Alakazam. Mr. Mime decides to Protect, but a Truant goes to Tapu Fini as it goes for Muddy Water, only hitting the Slaking, missing the Alakazam. Truant for Fini as a Follow Me from Mr. Mime. Dazzling Gleam hits both the Fini and Mr. Mime anyway, as Giga Impact hurts the Fini very much, down to 32%. Lucario comes out and switches out into Sceptile from the Tapu Fini. Flash Cannon not able to kill the Alakazam as Light Screen comes out from the Alakazam, which will help later on, but not this turn, as Dragon Pulse only does 20% to the Slaking. Aura Sphere takes out the Slaking as well, as we see Life Orb on Lucario, as we saw last turn. Dazzling Gleam able to do about half to the Sceptile. Blastoise comes out as Alakazam dies to an extreme speed, as a Follow Me comes out thinking that a Lucario did not have E-Speed, as it dies to a Leaf Storm, allowing the Infernapes to be up 4 Mons to 3. Doubles out into Gyarados from the Mamoswine that came out, as a Protect comes out from the Sceptile. Flash Cannon not doing a whole lot to the Lucario, as that allows Rotom to hit the vulnerable Lucario with an Overheat. I do believe that was a little bit of overkill, but it doesn't really matter. Ties it up at 3 each. Fini comes out, as well as Sceptile out onto Heatran, heats up the overheat from the Flash Fire, as Earthquake from the Gyarados takes out both the Heatran and its own Rotom, but allowing it to live the Moonblast because of the light screen. Mamoswine comes out as well as Sceptile. It is 2 versus 2. Ice Shard not able to do anything because of the Protect, as Earthquake hurts the Mamoswine, but it is able to take out the Tapu Fini on the other side, as Ice Shard is then able to take out the Mega Sceptile at turn 12, giving the Glygars the 2-0 victory. Next up, we have the Villa Tauros and the Tennessee Magnemitans, where the Magnemitans brought Tapu Koko, Ludicolo, Moltres, Kingdra, Amoonguss, and Pikachu, while the Tauros decided to bring Kabutops, Gudra, Linoon, Hariyama, Thundurus, and Cradily. Lucy said it correctly when he right here when he said there's 2 rain teams and no rain setters, which I also thought was kind of funny. When I was hoping to see your team build, I could have sworn he was going to bring Politoed. I thought that was a sure bring, but I guess not. But anyway, we're going to go right into this matchup, as we have Coco and Ludicolo. Okay, I'm done. Versus Linoon and Hariyama. The Tauros and the Magnemitans decide to trade Fake Outs onto the Linoon and Tuba Koko each, as switches out into Amoonguss on the Protect from Linoon, as a Z Gigavolt Havoc on Linoon does 41 even behind the sub, but the Figgy Berry raises the health again. Bulldoze lowers the speed of the Tapu Koko and the Amoonguss that came in as well. Uh, Hariyama decides to switch out into Cradilly as Coco decides to protect. Extreme Speed not going to do anything to the Coco as Foul Play does a good chunk to the Linoon, forcing to switch out into Hariyama as Coco decides to switch out into Fox the Moltres. Earth Power not going to do a thing because Flying type, as Foul Play does get a crit and does do a quarter damage onto the Hariyama. Gudra comes out from the Cradilly as Protect from the Fox, scouting for the fake out from the Hariyama. Hariyama decides to switch out into Tornadus, which does avoid the incoming Hurricane from the Moltres and does eat a Muddy Water as well as the Amoonguss, as Giga Drain also misses because of the Axie Chop from the Muddy Water earlier. Rage Powder comes out as a Tailwind from Tornadus and from the Phoenix Moltres as Rain Dance comes out from the Gudra, allowing Ariba to come in, but on a Hurricane, which is very unfortunate, but that does mean that the Tornadus is vulnerable to its own Hurricane. As Gudra predicted to switch and goes for an Earthquake, Hariyama comes out, as well as Kingdra. Kingdra eats a Fake Out from the Hariyama, as the Hariyama does in fact die. Muddy Water does hit both of them this time, leaving the Moltres at 31%. Kabutops comes out fearing a Scarf perhaps, goes out into Amoonguss, as Continental Crush does hit the Amoonguss, brings it down to 28%, good damage right there for that thing, and takes also Muddy Water, bringing it down to even less, 24 after leftover recovery. X's are not able to take it out, as Tailwind from the Moltres misses the Moltres with the Muddy Water, which is very unfortunate because it was a last turn of rain, but able to kill the Amoonguss. Pikachu does come out, forces a switch out into Cradilly, eats up a Thunderbolt very, very nicely as a Hurricane again misses, this time on the Gudra, as Muddy Water not able to take out the Moltres, and we see the Aguave Berry boosting it back up to about 51%. Helping Hands onto the Phoenix, the Moltres, excuse me, as the Protect from Cradilly not going to do a thing, as another Muddy Water this time hits the Moltres but misses the Pikachu. Just keeps on spamming Muddy Water, I mean, why not? Kabutops comes out predicting another Hurricane, as another Helping Hands onto Hurricane misses the Gudra again, and as a Muddy Water does kill finally the Moltres and brings Pikachu down to 15%. Coco comes out yet again, goes for Protect from Kabutops, as a Dazzling Beam finally hits the Gudra for the first time, as Thunderbolt not able to do a thing to the Protect, as Rain Dance comes out for helping the Kabutops. Protect from Coco, unfortunately, because Liquidation does hit the Protect, as Pikachu is able to kill the Kabutops, as Muddy Water kills the Pikachu, leaving 3 versus 2. Linoon comes out with Kingdra. Linoon decides to go for Protect, wants to see what Megamines want to do. Waterfall hits the Protect as well as the Dazzling Gleam, and does decent damage onto the Gudra, who goes for the Earthquake and takes out the Coco. 3 versus 1 now. Fearing the Dragon-type move, switches out into Cradilly, as the Extreme Speed not able to pick up the KO, but does live, both of them live the Outrage, and that allows Linoon to go for the Extreme Speed and win 3-0 for the Villa Tauros. Next up, we have the debuting Orlando Solar Beams taking on the Kansas City Kartanas, Tapu Lele, Mega Alakazam, Hawlucha, Talonflame, Excadrill, and Alolan Muck for the Kartanas, and for the Solar Beams, excuse me, as I need to swallow, Jirachi, Frostlass, Hoopa Unbound, Silvally, Magmar, and Gorgeist. We have Tapu Lele and Mega Alakazam starting off against Frostlass and Silvally, and we see that it is Silvally Steel. Muck comes out from the Mega Alakazam, as both Protect from Frostlass and Lele come up. Nice play here by Orlando, as he goes for Tailwind. Switches out into Excadrill, fearing the Steel-type move, as a Multi-Attack is able to come out and hits the Excadrill pretty nicely, I guess. Unfortunately, Knockoff is able to take the Frostlass down to its sash, but does get the poison, which does in fact kill. Fire Fang from the Silvally onto the Excadrill, not able to kill, but does do pretty decent damage, as Drill Run does massive damage onto the Savali, bringing it down to 22%, as Hoopa went for a sub, but unfortunately did not stay. Multi-attack does go out onto the Muck, as Hyperspace Fury does kill the incoming Talonflame, as Knockoff is not able to kill the Hoopa Unbound, even after a defense drop. Extra Drill comes out yet again, switches out into Hawlucha, allowing Extra Drill to go for an Earthquake, taking out both Silvally and Hoopa Unbound, leaving it 5 versus 3. Gourgeist and Magmire come out on turn 5 now. Follow Me goes for an Acrobatics, does get 50%, as Earthquake does take out the Magmire. But that means that the Gourgeist goes for a Z Trick or Treat, allowing the Hawlucha to turn into part Ghost type. Acrobatics does bring the Gourgeist down to 13% as he goes for Shadow Force. Earthquake does hit the Jirachi, but does not kill it. Zen Headbutt brings it down to 18%, goes for Protect on Hawlucha, as Jirachi as well goes for the Protect. Phantom Force is able to take out the Hawlucha even though it went for Protect, as Earthquake does take out the Gourgeist. Mega Alakazam comes out, forces a switch out into Alolan Muck, does not want to lose differential, as Shadow Ball not able to kill because of the Kasib Berry, I think I pronounced that right, as Meteor Mash not able to take out the Alolan Muck, but next turn will from the burn damage as he decides to protect, try to get as much differential points as he can. I really do like that play a lot. Good job for the Solar Beams getting as much differential points as he can, but unfortunately he's not able to pull out the win because Shadow Ball is then able to kill the Jirachi. And it is a 3-0 for the Kartanas. Thank you guys for watching this so far. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and enjoy the next couple battles. How's it going, guys? This is AA Ron bringing you guys another battle in week number 5, I want to say this is. I honestly don't remember. I haven't done a battle recap in a little while. It's been a couple days. But this time we have the Holland Heracross and the Reading Rapidashes. Rapidashes just came off their first win of the season. The Heracross are still looking for their first. The Heracross decided to bring Alolan Raichu, Mega Slowbro, Necrozma, Volcarona, excuse me, I had a burp there, Oricorio, Psychic, and Venusaur. While the Reading Rapidashes brought Rotom Frost, Hoopa, Mega Beedrill, Blacephalon, Darkrai, and Snorlax. Let's go right ahead and see what happens during this battle. Snorlax and Mega Beedrill start off against Raichu and Volcarona. Beedrill decides to switch out on Blacephalon on the Fake Out, which obviously did nothing, as Fiery Dance does hurt the Blacephalon pretty nicely, as we see Curse on the Snorlax. Shadow Ball from the Blacephalon takes out the Raichu in one hit, as the Beast Boost comes out, but unfortunately does not matter because Fiery Dance does in fact crit and takes the Blacephalon out, but Double Edge takes out the Volcarona. Necrozma comes out with Mega Beedrill and Venusaur as well. Mega Evolution goes for an X-Scissor on the Necrozma. It lives pretty nicely, actually. 33%, I do believe, is pretty nicely, and goes for the Moonlight, as Venusaur goes for the Leech Seed on the Snorlax, as an Ice Punch does great damage, leaving the Venusaur at 38% after recovery. Another X-Scissor to the Necrozma leaves it at 12%, as Photon Geyser does in fact take out the Mega Beedrill, also leaving the Necrozma at 2%, as Ice Punch not going to do anything behind the Protect. As now Venusaur is up to 61% after recovery. Decides to switch out into Slowbro, does not want to take that Ice Punch, excuse me, as Necrozma is not able to live a Shadow Ball after the Moonlight. Slowbro then takes the Ice Punch very nicely and also gets that health back, as the Psychic Oricorio comes out. Mega Evolution by the Slowbro as he goes for Tailwind. Shadow Ball is not going to be able to let the Slowbro live, as Snorlax does go for a rest, which is much needed. Resto Lum, excuse me, as a Revelation Dance, not going to do a thing to the Hoopa, as Sludge Bomb's not going to do a thing to the Snorlax, Psychic takes down Venusaur, and Ice Punch takes out the Oricorio, giving the Reading Rapidashes their second victory of the season, and I do believe that makes them 2-3. But anyway, we're going to go on to the next battle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alright guys, we are here for battle number 5 of week number 5, where we have the Gainesville Gudras coach Mandy the Turtle taking on the Mountain City Lycanrocs? Rocky Mountain Lycanrocs, I think that was. Oh my gosh, Rocky, I'm so sorry. I think it's the Rocky Mountain Lycanrocs. With Coach Rock Hands decided to bring Jellicent, Togekiss, Mew, Mega Lucario, Shiinotic, Mudsdale, and Weezing, while Mandy brought Jellicent, Deoxys Attack, Garchomp, Mega Mortar, Thundurus, and Mega Steelix. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Jellicent and Magmortar lead off against Shiinotic and Weezing. Type advantage forces a switch out in Togekiss as a Heat Wave does hit both, does not burn. However, Will-O-Wisp does in fact hit the Weezing and burns the Weezing as Toxic Spikes comes out on turn 1. Magmortar goes for the taunt so that the second layer does not come out, also eats an Air Slash, as Togekiss does eat a Scald, but does get burned on the same turn, as Weezing tried to go for the second layer of... Oh, no, he went for Taunt that time. Can't use Taunt after you got taunted. Switches out into Mew on a Heat Wave, does do about 27%, as an Air Slash does crit the Magmortar, but also takes a Scald from that as well, leaving Togekiss at 40%. Toxic onto the Jellicent. Does in fact hit, which is very nice, as Togekiss does eat the Heat Wave and goes for a Roost, leaving it at 57 after the Scald damage and Roost. Mew is also at 50. Mew decides to go for a Hail, does get hit with a Heat Wave, as well as Magmortar gets hit with an Air Slash, and a Scald onto the Mew, leaves it at 0% after the Hail damage. And Togekiss is now at 33. Magmortar is at 43. Lucario decides to come in. Follow me. Swords Dance does not work with Heat Wave, and Lucario goes down on turn 6. Doesn't even take one hit, as Scald takes out the Togekiss, leaving Mandy at a 6-3 advantage for her team, as Jellicent is whittling down to 63%. Weezing and Mudsdale come out for the first time, for Mudsdale at least, as Toxic does in fact hit the Mudsdale. Very nice prep, as the second layer of Toxic Spikes does come down, as Rock Slide is able to kill the Magmortar, leaving it a 5-3 advantage for Mandy, as now poison damage doing its thing to the Mudsdale. Steelix Maggie evolves and goes for the Protect, does not want to take a Earthquake, as Venom Drench is the hidden attack by Weezing, lowering the special attack by the Jellicent, as Scald is not going to do too much, as it only does 25% to the Mudsdale. Also getting the stamina boost as well is worthy of a note, leaving it at about 56% after toxic damage as well. Venom Drench does lower the attack again by Jellicent, as Rest comes out for the Mudsdale, bringing it back up to full health, as eats another Scald, even more because of the Venom Drench again, as now its stamina brings it up to about 2.5 times the defense, as Weezing is whittling down to 36%, as Steelix decides to go for Protect, as he does not want to take an Earthquake again, as Mudsdale is just still asleep. Scald onto the Weezing, leaving it at 20% after the burn and recovery from the Black Sludge. Decides to go for a Destiny Bond this time, as Jellicent actually crits the Weezing this time, taking out the Weezing, but also taking out the Jellicent as well, as we have a 4-2 advantage for Mandy, as Gyro Ball only helps Mudsdale even more. Thundurus comes out, goes for a Grass Knot, not able to kill, lives on 8%, as we see Life Orb on the Thundurus. Spore puts the Thundurus to sleep, as Gyro Ball only does 27. That is a defensive Shiinotic, as he goes for a counter. I don't know why he went for a counter on that move. That was just really weird. Mandy got really lucky. Rockhand takes this advantage and goes for a rest of his own. Goes to sleep as a Confusion onto the Steelix. Doesn't really help that first turn, and does 30% with the Gyro Ball onto the Shiinotic. Strength Snap, which is very annoying from the Shiinotic, as Gyro Ball is now only doing 20% as it goes to sleep as well. As a Spotlight onto the Thundurus, trying to get him to attack himself, but unfortunately the Steelix is in fact asleep. As now Thundurus wakes up, finally goes for a Sludge Bomb, takes out the Shiinotic. We have a 4-on-1 advantage as Mudsdale wakes up, goes for a Rock Slide, not able to kill anything, but the Steelix is still asleep. Goes for another Grass Knot, not able to kill the Mudsdale, but the Mudsdale is in fact able to kill the Thundurus. does do a little bit of damage onto the Steelix, but definitely not enough where it's going to be able to pull out the win, as Deoxys does come out, does get poisoned from the Toxic Spikes. However, it matters little as Psychic is able to take out the Mudsdale. And we have Mandy winning 3-0 after losing last week. Now we're going to go on to the next battle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alright guys, so sorry about that awkward 1 second, and sorry about that phone going off. Wow, this is already starting off to be pretty bad. Before I get started with the last 2 battles, I do want to say that the document is updated. I am ready to record it. However, I'm just not in Wi-Fi, and I don't know how well it's going to work to record it. I might have to record it later today. But if I can record it right now, I will try to record it right now. But I'm just going to make that its own separate little thing. So I'm going to just do these 2. Then cut off the recording, and then we're going to record the document to see if I need to if I can record it now, or if I have to record it later when I'm in Wi-Fi. But anyway, that's really not super important. But we do have the last 2 battles of the week, where we have Polly taking on the Pittsburgh Reggie Steelers, and we also have the Miami Magikarps taking on the Wild Meowths. The Kentucky Wild Meowths. Sorry, I had a brain fart there because this is not the only new coach around, so I had to think, did he do the Orlando Solar Beams, or is he the Wild Meowths? And I remembered he's the Wild Meowths, so I'm sorry, Tempest. But anyway, Polly decided to bring Mandibuzz, Mega Manectric, Delphox, Araquanid, Ditto, and Conkeldurr, while the Reggie Steelers are bringing Raichu, Rheoniclus, Mega Blastoise, Tapu Bulu, Kyurem, and Honchkrow. So let's start it off pretty simple, as we have Manectric taking on Ditto with Thunderbolt, and alright, we're just gonna have to deal with that. Anyway, Conkeldurr comes out as the Ditto goes for a fake out, flinches the Raichu as he does take the Night Slash. Ditto then goes for fake out again, but does die to a knockoff from the Raichu. Gets out the Ditto as Bravebird does in fact take out the Conkeldurr, giving the Honchkrow a +1 in attack. Araquanid and Delphox come out, switches out into Manectric, probably baiting the Bravebird, but a Sucker Punch does take out the Delphox instead, as a Volt Tackle from the Raichu does do damage onto the Manectric. It is not Lightning Rod, as Mandibuzz comes out, Mega evolves into Mega Manectric, does not have the, I don't know what to call it. And the Flamethrower does not take out the Raichu, as Volt Tackle only does 48% of the Mandibuzz, which is just crazy. Killing himself from the recoil, as Toxic's not going to hit the Honchkrow. Kyurem comes out. Mandibuzz goes for a Protect, as Honchkrow does take out the Manectric with... Oh my gosh, I have hiccups right now. Manectric with the Sucker Punch, as Ice Beam onto the Mandibuzz. Not going to do a thing because of the Protect. As Araquanid comes out, Ice Beam is then able to take out the Mandibuzz, as well as Bravebird takes out the Araquanid, leaving Byron and the Pittsburgh Reggie Steelers at a 5-0 win over Polly. Next up, we have the Kentucky Wild Meowths and the Miami Magikarps. The Wild Meowths brought Torkoal, Landorus, T-Girder, Ribombee, Victreebel, and Dusknoir, while the Magikarps brought Ferrothorn, Ambipom, Rotom-Wash, Charizard, Mega Pidgeot, and Naga Nadel. Torkoal and Dusknoir start off for the Wild Meowths, as Ambipom and Naga Nadel start off for the Magikarps. Torkoal wants to protect, does not know what he wants to do, as Sludge Bomb does more to the Ambipom than it does anyone else, which is very unfortunate. As Trick Room comes out from the Dusknoir, Ambipom decides to protect, doesn't know what the Wild Meowths want to do, as Eruption onto the Naga Nadel, as well as an Ice Punch, is enough to take it out, and there's still 3 more turns of Trick Room, as Charizard comes out, and unfortunately there is no Sprite. Ice Punch is not doing a whole lot, as Heat Wave actually does a very good chunk to the Dusknoir, and Ambipom is not able to take out the Torkoal with the return. Helping Hand with the Torkoal really helps out with the Eruption, taking out the Charizard from 63%. Wow, that is just crazy. Ferrothorn actually comes out as a Helping Hand also for the Torkoal. goes for a Protect and only does 6% to the Ambibomb, but that 60% is enough to take it out, as Rotom Wash comes out, forcing the Torkoal out into the Victory Bell, as Thunderbolt not able to take out the Dusknoir, and unfortunately the Figgy Berry comes out with the Sunny Day. Very good switch in there by the Wild Meowth, as Mega Pidgeot comes out, goes for a Solar Beam, does 46 to the Pidgeot, and we see Life Orb on the Victory Bell. Leech Seed goes onto the Dusknoir, as Pidgeot does Mega Evolve, goes for Helping Hand with Victory Bell, and because of Chlorophyll, outspeeds the Pidgeot and takes out the Mega Pidgeot. As now Gyro Ball does a lot of damage to the Victory Bell, as well as Leech Seed damage doing its thing to the Dusknoir. Solar Beam is able to take out the Rotom, leaving it a 5-on-1 advantage for the Wild Meowth, as Gyro Ball not able to take out the Dusknoir, but the Leech Seed damage is. And we're on turn 10 now. Turn 10 now, as Torkoal and Landorus come out. Again, goes for protecting what the Wild Meowth want to do, as we see Supersonic Sky Strike onto the Ferrothorn, as Eruption does not hit the Ferrothorn either, and the sun does go down, forces a switch out into Girder, which honestly I'm not really sure why, but I mean there's probably a good reason for it, I just don't know it, as another Protect comes out. Goes for a Fly and a Drain Punch. Drain Punch only does 40%, and we see Iron Barb damage, as Leech Seed does in fact hit the Girder, leaving it down to 76% after Leech Seed damage, as Fly unfortunately misses, as another Drain Punch is only doing 40 again. I think that would have killed from that range, as another Leech Seed does hit the Landorus, as now Ferrothorn is now at 68% after Leech Seed recovery. Second Swords Dance for the Landorus, putting it down up to times 3, and after the leftovers and the 2 Leech Seed recoveries, it is now up to 98%. Rock Slide trying to get the flinch, not going to get it this time, but brings it down to 27% after Drain Punch as well, as Gyro Ball only doing 10% to the Ferrothorn, bringing it back up to 57%, as another Protect comes out. Excuse me. As another Protect, as Landorus decides to Fly and does not do anything Drain Punch. The Fly does in fact take out the Ferrothorn. Iron Barb's damage is obviously not going to do too much for the Landorus, as the Wild Meowth did win 4-0. Alright guys, so the next thing to do is the document, and I will show you guys that right now. Oh, shit. Looks like I forgot to do my own battle recording this, so I'm going to do that real quick. I actually really want to do it real quick, for reasons unknown. But anyway, I brought, Infernape, Clefable, Landorus, Sharpedo, Mega Sharpedo, excuse me, Celesteela, and Cofagrigus, while Twenta decided to bring Incineroar, Crobat, Mega Deontay, Zygarde, Polion, and Cresselia. Crobat and Cresselia start off against Clefable, and Landorus decided to switch out, did not know what he wants to do, as he goes for a Magikarp and Cross Poison onto my Celesteela, which allows me to go for Rock Slide. Unfortunately misses the Crobat, which is actually huge towards the end of the battle, and I'll show you guys why later, as Zygarde decides to switch out as I double out into Clefable, as Cresselia decides to go for an Icy Wind. It's very interesting to see, as a Heavy Slam does do 25% to the Zygarde. Switches out into Crobat yet again on 1,000 arrows. Does crit the Celesteela, and does do 33% to the Clefable, but after a Moonblast and a Leech Seed, the Zygarde does in fact go down after turn number 3. Incineroar does decide to come out, as switches out into Cofagrigus on a Protect from Celesteela. As a Fake Out, obviously not going to do a thing, and Cross Poison only does 10% to the Cofagrigus, which also puts the Mummy on Crobat. Cresselia comes out yet again on a Landorus switch-in as well, as a Malicious Moonsault does hit the Cofagrigus, only does 38% because of the Colbur Berry, as a Will-O-Wisp does in fact hit the Cresselia, which does nullify the leftover recovery. Switches out into Celesteela, as he does not want to take a Dark type move, as a Icy Wind does hit the Landorus, 45%. As Celesteela does get hurt with it as well. Darkest Lariat does bring it down to 35. Yeah. Anyway, Protect from the Celesteela allows the Landers to go for a Rock Slide, only hitting the the Incineroar, as Icy Wind does bring the Landers down to 13%, allowing Hula Hoop to be at 82%. Switches out into Cofagrigus, as Icy Wind does hit the Cofagrigus as well as the Celesteela, bringing it down to 29, as also Hydro Pump does in fact hit the Celesteela, bringing it down to a 5 versus 4. Sharpedo comes out now. Switches out into Crobat on a Protect from the Sharpedo. Hydro Pump misses the Cofagrigus, as Knockoff does get rid of the Choice Specs. As now Mega evolves and does take a U-turn, as Deontay comes out as misses the Ice Fang, which is also very unfortunate, as a second Hydro Pump does in fact miss, as a Will-O-Wisp does hit the Deontay, which is not going to really matter too much, as now Deontay goes for the Protect, as Sharpedo does try to go for the Liquidation, but does die to the grass not the following turn, which allows Cofagrigus to burn the Empoleon. And now we're sitting at 4 versus 4, as Infernape comes out, goes for the close combat, does in fact take out the Empoleon, but at the price of his own Infernape, which does get taken out, as now Cofagrigus goes for the knockoff. Clefable comes out now, as so does Cresselia. Cresselia does go for Helping Hands on the Deontay. Moonblast does take out the Cofagrigus, but that does allow a Wish for Clefable, allowing it to live a little bit longer, but that does mean that Scarf Crobat should be able to pull out the wind, as now Deontay goes for the Protect. Earth Power on the Deontay, not going to do a thing, obviously, as Icy Wind takes out the Landorus. So now it's just a 3 versus 1 with Clefable at full health. And Cresselia and Deontay both burned. Helping Hand onto Deontay. Deontay's not able to kill the Clefable, but Moonblast is able to take out the Deontay with a crit. However, that does mean that Crobat is now able to come in and with the Helping Hands finally take out the Clefable with Cross Poison, giving Twenta his first win of the season after this turn of Protect. So that will do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the document right now. Fuck Twent. Alright guys, we're here for the document update. We're going to start with the blue division right here. We have the Solar Beam still winless at 0-5. Next up we have the Lycanrocs and the Glygars with the Wild Meowths. I don't know, I always do that. I see that there's 3, but I always say 2 first and then I do the 3rd. I don't know why I do that. But anyway, they are separated by 8 differential points. The Lycanrocs are in last place on that one. Polly and the Magikarps are both 3-2 and 0. I don't know why Polly's in the lead over the Magikarps. I don't know why that is, but it is right now. The Registeelers, Goodras, and the Kartanas are separated by, looks like 6 differential points, with the Registeelers on the bottom, Kartanas on the top. Heracross over in the red division are winless at 0-5. Tentacools won their first game last week. They are now 1-4. Rapidashes and the Beedrills are now 2-3, separated by 4 differential points. Magmitans, Bouffalons, Infernape, and the Wall Breakers are separated by 4 differential points. And the Tauros are sitting pretty up on top, 4-1. We're going to go over to the mods of the week now, where we have a 3-way tie for first place, 4-0. These are the only 3 that are 4-0 this week. Excadrill from the Kartanas, Goodra from the Tauros, and Honchkrow from the Registeelers. Over to the pick'ems for the week, where we have Geeko bottoming out the 10 plus with 10. Polly is at 20. Pearl's at 23, Mike Omega are at 24, Kid Icarus, Lucy are at 25, Twenta's at 26, Hoobie's at 27, and myself is at 31. I'm going to go over to the league leaders for the week, where we have, on the defensive side, we have Aegislash on the bottom with a 5.16 differential number. Togekiss is at 5.44. Hippowdon is an even 6. Celesteela is at 6.29. Cofagrigus is at 7. Hitmontop is at 8.167. Darkrai is in the top 5. Can you believe it? Darkrai is sitting pretty with all of these defensive mons with an 8.33. Ferrothorn dropped from number 1 to number 3 because of 1 death, 8.75. Mega Steelix is at 10.5. Mudsdale is at 10.83 and currently in the lead. Over for the offensive league leaders, where we had a whole bunch of 6 kills and up, but these 3 are the only ones that are like 1 or 2 deaths. Number 10 is Mega Swampert with 6 and 2. Mudsdale and Genesect both had 6 kills, but only 1 death apiece. Heatran is at 7 kills, and so is Alolan separated by just 1 death by the Kartanas and the Infernapes. By the way, Genesect and Swampert were from the Tauros, and Mudsdale was from the Lycanrocs. With 8 kills and 5 deaths is Thundurus T from the Goodras, with 8 kills, 3 deaths. Tapu Koko from the Magnemitans. With 8 kills and 2 deaths are the Kartanas, as well as, I said that way wrong. With 8 kills and 2 deaths is Mega Alakazam and Goodra from the Tauros and the Kartanas. And sitting number 1 still, hitting double digits this past week. 10 kills and 4 deaths from the Bouffalants is Celesteela. Next up, okay, I'm gonna have to try to remember who I picked for these. I could definitely be wrong. If you are double checking me and make sure I'm not cheating, whatever I have for like on Discord is what I actually have. So if I say that I'm picking, I don't know. Well, I know this one's a fact. If I say that I'm picking Magikarps over the Kartanas, but really I actually chose the Kartanas over the Magikarps, then go by what I put on Discord. But because I can't really check it right now. But anyway, Kartanas versus the Magikarps, I am picking the Kartanas for that one. Goodras versus Politoads, I am picking the Goodras. Wild Meowths versus the Glygars, I'm pretty sure I chose the Wild Meowths on this one. Tentacools versus Registealers, I got the Registealers. Lycanrocs and Solar Beams, I picked the Solar Beams for that one. Magnemitans and the Wall Breakers, pretty sure I picked the Magnemitans. Heracross versus Bouffalants, I know I gotta vote for myself, I go for the Bouffalants. Beedrills versus Infernapes, I'm picking the Infernapes. Tentacools, I already did that one. I'm pretty sure Rapidash and Tauros are the last one, and I'm picking the Tauros to win. So that will do it for me. I hope you guys enjoy this, and have a good one.